Good morning.
Good morning.
We are at the Cuevas de Altamira. Got woken up at 8 o'clock this morning by a very confusing phone call. He wanted to change our appointment. So instead of it being at 3:15,
Yeah.
is it 12:15?
Yeah, only you thought it was tomorrow, not today. And so much confusion ensued. But we got there and we've changed our appointment to 12:15 today.
It is currently 11:18 when we've arrived.
Which is absolutely fine.
We're going to go in though because yesterday there was so much to read and trying to translate it all, it took ages, and so we ended up not being able to see everything we wanted to see. So we will wander in now. It's a very much bigger place though.
It does seem to be.
And hopefully we can video some of this.
Do what we can.
We stayed on a campsite last night. Camping Playa Southes, I think. I'll put the name down and what 3 words in the description, in the comments. Nice campsite, very, very peaceful. Incredible showers. And we managed to do a wash. We need to do some washing. And we did the washing and it cost us €7 for a wash and a dry. So I thought that was pretty good value. This is This is Riba de Sella, I think.
But it's all one word.
Oh, one word. I can't say it quickly. It's very pretty. Lovely little prom. Don't look at me like that.
I just worried you were going to start singing.
I thought about it. Now everyone else is, aren't you? You're all singing.
Tiddly om pom pom. This is an Oreo Asturiana. Oreo Asturiano. An Asturian Oreo which is used for the storage of grain. As you can see, it is mounted on stone pillars off the ground, so the mouses have to have very long legs, and it also helps to keep things dry in what is otherwise a fairly damp climate for most of the year. So this is the coastal estuary of Sella. You see the mountains just there in the distance, the Picos de Europa. And of course the tide's out. So it's a bit of a muddy mudland. Well, this is a very pretty town. Really nice shops. And the 16th century town hall. What a stunning building. So it's time to wander back to Claude and head off to our appointment at the caves. We were absolutely privileged
Yes.
to
Go and see the real cave paintings here.
so the cave formation here is about 300 meters long. The real entrance to the cave is positioned in a valley about 3 kilometers behind where we are here. But in the 1970s, they had so many visitors every day. I think it was saying 1,000 visitors a day.
1,000 visitors a day.
Were trying to access the cave from quite a narrow entrance in the valley, that they created a new entrance, and now they limit visitor numbers and you can only go in with a guide, and as a result also it's in virtual complete darkness. So the guide carries a torch and takes you through. It's about 100 meters through, and they take you into one chamber where you can see representations of horses and reindeer. They talk a lot about the materials that the artists use. They were all organic materials harvested from the land. So, for example, iron oxides, which made ochre.
Manganese,
which made sort of a purpley blue.
And charcoal.
Which obviously they got from their fires. And they mixed these materials with water and then painted on the walls. So if you ever wondered how long that charcoal scribbling of your sibling or your child will last on the lounge wall, it'll be there for quite some time.
Except that these caves are in complete darkness, so there's no light fade on it.
But it's just an incredible thing. And I think the most interesting thing is you're walking in the footsteps of history. So the cave here, I think they said, was 18,500 years ago.
So 18,500 years ago, somebody walked through that cave carrying some wooden scaffolding, because the paintings are very high up, and drew these pictures.
And a little clay light.
Yeah.
A clay light. So that was so they burnt fat in the light, and they think that the fat was marrow fat, so extracted from the bones, and they used a reed wick in total darkness with just a small flickering light. They built scaffolding in this particular cave. They found evidence of wooden scaffolding, and painted these pictures. Well, here we are, Sunday the 19th of April, and we've had a bit of a day today of stopping. We keep on saying that we need to stop, and I am trying not to be desperately bored. Darrelle has been busy, and she is currently editing the next video, which will go up shortly. I, on the other hand, because she's stolen my video editing job, I have been doing lots of things. So we've got chicken and white bean casserole for dinner. There is a pineapple upside down cake cooking in the Omnia. I've done the washing up about 9 times. We're on an air just near Ribsea. It's free. It's really good, flat space with services as well, so you can empty your loo and fill your water and all those things you expect to do. I've also managed to give the front of Claude a bit of a clean out, and somehow we didn't manage to vacuum him out before we left. And that is what we're doing today, a quiet Sunday, and tomorrow we're back on track. There we have Darrelle, the dinosaur hunter. she's off. She appears to have left me behind. Guess I hope to catch up then. How are you doing, Dinosaur Hunter? Up where? On this pavementy thing.
Yeah.
So we have quite a crop of footprints. So the ones in front of us here are Diplodocus.
Let me show you.
They stand
These ones here.
5 metres tall. And Darrell's going to stand in the middle of the Diplodocus foot.
I'm going to stand in their footprint.
And there's that one, and then there's one immediately behind it.
Let me get to it. That was a little bit on the slippy side. So this one here.
There we are. And then,
You've got some smaller footprints here.
so this one just in front of us here is a Tyrannosaurus.
You can see the claws.
We'll take a photograph from above. They say from above they look a bit clearer. But isn't it just extraordinary? And to think that this was the last time a Diplodocus stepped in this mud.
Dinosaurs left their footprints in the mud of a shallow coastal lagoon 1 million years ago during the late Jurassic. The shells of tiny gastropods that lived in this lagoon can still be seen in raised areas around the large sauropod tracks that make up the ancient mud dislodged by these enormous dinosaurs.
So tonight's little park up, assuming the sign doesn't tell us anything to the contrary, is right at the end of the harbour at Quadrio. And we are just next to the sea. So I rather hope that it's kind to us tonight. And so it would appear that we can, which is good news. We are in Cuduero in Spanish, or Cudueri in Asturian. It's a municipality in the Principality of Asturias in Spain. It was a main fishing port, although today it mainly fishes tourists. A legend says it was founded by the Vikings. In addition to Castilian, some locals still speak a dialect called Puatu. So we're heading up into the Asturian mountains, and we came around the corner and there were all these cars parked, and it's a local fishing club here on the banks of the Narcea River.
As we're driving along, we're seeing so many of these old grain stores. Almost every single house has one. Many of them look like they've been converted into other uses, but some are still being used as grain stores, I suspect. So interesting.
And as Darrell was saying, look, all of these jareo, little grain stores on the top of buildings. So many.
Keep it going. We just stopped at a picnic area as we were driving through the mountains, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Let me show you. I hope the camera can capture these wildflowers. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then It overlooks what I think is probably some sort of reservoir. We came past what looked like a dam not so long ago and commented that we couldn't stop to take photographs because it was quite a busy road. I don't know how close I can get. There you are. So pretty. This is why we like to travel slowly. We'd never have found this if we'd just stuck to the motorways.
Sometimes, when you follow Google Maps, you believe that it tells you the truth. I will play the downward journey for you. But we're looking for a park up, which allegedly was in the middle of a town, and it's brought us up the most amazing road. The Spanish donkeys.
You still say "ee-aw."
Or, yeah, this definitely isn't in the centre of a town. A hermitage, literally at the top of a hill. I think this hill was only ever intended for donkeys and carts, not Claude's. Poor old Claude. The wildflowers are beautiful. Slowly, slowly, we will edge our way back down this hill. So I don't know whether the road footage is actually doing this justice, because this is very steep. I'm being very cautious because Citroen Relays are known for brake fade. But Claude's doing fine for now. Well, here we are back in the town of Cangas del Narcea.
In 500 metres, turn right onto Avenida del Acebo. Then turn right onto Calle Uria.
This time we'll see whether Waze can get us to where we're going. So tonight we are in the mountain town of Cangas del Narcea in the Asturian mountains. It's a very hilly place, and the park up is right at the bottom of the hill. It's a free park up provided by the city and right by a river. Perfectly pleasant. You can find it on Park for Night. So we came here because Darrelle was rather sold a wrong one. It was sold as a gluten-free town, but so far we have yet to find any gluten-free, although there is a remarkable suspension bridge over the river Narcea, just down there below.
But I can't eat that.
We spoke to a very helpful and enthusiastic lady in the tourist office, which is just over in the corner of the square. And then the rest of the Polithia there is their cultural centre, so the library's in there. But there's also an exhibition about the life and the history of the town. So the town has 4 Polithio, houses of the nobles. And the history of the area was built on a combination of agriculture, forestry, fishing, because this particular town is the confluence of 2 rivers, and they're both salmon rivers, and wine. It was a big wine area. So we're going to go and have a look inside the cathedral. So 16th century. Through the power of the camera to see in the dark. It's very dark in here. And really cold. Well, good morning from Cangas de Narfea. We had a very peaceful night parked by this possibly not the most picturesque campsite, but it was effective, had the services that you need, and today we're going to try and avoid Google Maps taking us on any strange mountain passes as we head out of the Asturias and into Galicia towards Lugo. It's a glorious day. So today we left Cangas del Narfea following the Ruta Turística por el Puerto de Pozo de las Mujeres Muertas.
We've just come over the mountain at the highest point, 1,116 metres above sea level. It's absolutely a beautiful day. It's a bit nippy up here though. We've had to stop for a minute to let Claude cool down because he was getting a bit too hot. We did not like that hill. Oh, there's the bus.
As I think you can see from the video, it was quite twisty turny.
And this is the last village that we come through in Asturias. Any minute now, we will be into our next region of Galicia.
We had to stop a few times to let Claude cool down and to dry my hands. It was quite a drive.
This is beautiful.